Ka showroom kali batmai jangka Tata Motors Keladon haga jela mentah. Wan shaka Frank Motors like goringi Shillong.
Kabil ke ban pelongan ke batikna ban petelon syakmat yaga kam penyakhalai haga jela menta kala ke phalo hakaba ke babon ki kenhun dadu ki sengnyam ne hadu ki seng phalang pat ki rushimet ki layang paitba ban persha yak jingtmu jongka sarkar jela ban pelongan no sisndon yaka haga beide pat kene ke Emily jong islong Dr. M Ampri Lingdo haba yakran pat kilat pathai kubot menta kasngi kalong bakum kanong mi kamat paitba haba ka sarkar kala pendrong yakane ke bil hapo ka yang dorbar kila pendap hok kila ka kamram da ka ba kinya theria tai bin pebin hapo ka yang Hena shabar jong ka yang pat balai bagi paitba kim chim lai snok tilang ban yang persya yaka hatu kila yothya ne balai padai tat ha ka khlemat ba ka sarkar kala pas ka bil hapo ka yang dorbar pat menta la penkala long ain no chisndon yaka.
See, this is the irony of the people of Meghalaya. When the gambling bill was brought to the Legislative Assembly, we objected. We rose, we debated, we already scrutinized that bill, but everybody else in the community was sleeping. Finally, the government on the floor of the House passed the bill, and it is therefore now an act. So, I think these kinds of late reactions by civil society should not happen. We should have objected when the bill was brought to the floor of the House. Now, what are the issues that they have about Gambling Act per se? We had already anticipated that there should be strict vigilance on who are the players that will be permitted to even participate in these gaming gamble centers. We had also asked at that time where would these centers be located. We had also asked what would be the the various procedures for application of conduct of a game that will be given money in exchange of game. So these were issues that we had debated at length on the floor of the House. Unfortunately, there were just two participants when we brought in amendments to the bill, and we had debated at length about the pros and cons of the gaming bill per se in the state of Meghalaya. We did not get much support, so now we need to figure out whether or not civil society can still object to a bill, to an act which was passed as a bill in the House. See, this late reaction is something which is very detrimental to the actual understanding of how government brings in bills to the floor of the House and how public remains asleep when the bills are being debated. Once they become act, government therefore gets empowered to execute those acts. I don't know how much of a suggestion you can still give at this point of time, but to my knowledge, that act will go ahead and will permit all kinds of games to be brought to Meghalaya in the form of maybe casinos, or I don't know what is the format that the government is planning. See, at that point of time, we had anticipated that there would be resistance from the public. But there was not one organization that came forward while the bill had been tabled to the time that it is being passed. Nobody came forward. But we did have a very productive debate on the floor of the House. So I cannot say whether it is the right time or the wrong time, because I still have not understood what would be the details of these games that will be permitted. There are also other systems which I see will resist the setting up of these gaming centers. For example, we are a scheduled area. You will require the NOCs from the KHDC. You will require even from your darbars in the various localities. Whether or not government has sat with the stakeholders to understand the concept of gaming, I don't think there should be any right time or wrong time for something new to begin in a state. But I do know that if it means that something will be more negative for the public than positive, then government needs to sit with stakeholders to review how they will actually bring into practice the bill that has become an act that has been passed on the floor of the house, and how will they operationalize it is something I am unaware of. So I am not part of any committee either that has been formed by the government to understand what is it that this Gaming Act will do in the state of Meghalaya. So these are few things that government needs to take care so that there is no misconception, misunderstanding. But I wish the public had supported us when we objected and brought in and proposed amendments to this bill. In fact, we had also suggested that it should be sent to a select committee. But we got no support, and so that bill became an act and it is operational and legal now.